Hello, this is a good one. This is Ian's POV. Nigel Farage has resigned as MP for Clacton. Now, people think, great, he's out the way. No. Just hang on a minute. Preceding his announcement that he was going to resign and trigger a by-election, he declared that he had done nothing wrong. And I don't believe he has. Nigel Farage is a political heavyweight now. He's an MP, he's leader of a political party. Reform's got the most membership of any party. And that's got to be a success from starting from nothing. Now, there's been so much press about his private life, his money, and I think it's got to a stage where he's got to put a line underneath it and start again. So what he's done is create a political stunt. He resigns and then puts himself forward as an MP again, or as a candidate for his constituency that he's already an MP for. He must know he's got a good chance of winning. He will know the number of members that he's got in that constituency. He will know how many people actually support him in that constituency. I expect they've done polls. What do they call them? Can't remember the name. But they go out and find out what people think. And I expect he knows that he's got a good chance of being re-elected as their MP. They've rejected the Tories. Labour is going down the pound. Labour leadership is not in place yet. So Labour haven't really got a leader. They got a lame duck Prime Minister. And Burnham that's going to be, looked at like it, going to be appointed without an election. Now, by Thursday, somebody could come up and say they want an election for the Labour leadership. So that'll be going on the back of this by-election. And the by-election will be in a month to 6 weeks. It's the way that it works. Which means that Farage will be back in the Commons, hopefully in April. Now, the tyranny of this Labour Party is now so extreme. It's like looking at the Nazi Party in Germany in the 1930s. You know, if you've studied history and you saw how the black shirts in Germany treated the gypsies and the Jews and the disabled in the late 1920s, early 30s, before concentration camps and all that sort of thing. Then you look at what we have in this country now. We have Palestine Action, which changed their name from now and again. Well, that's what it is, Palestine Action, which is basically the old PLO, which is a terrorist organisation. Then you've got Antifa, which is also a terrorist organisation. Then you've got the Pride, the LGBTQ activists who are supporting Labour because they think they're going to get more rights. Well, if you've got a sexual orientation, it shouldn't give you any more rights than anybody else. Human rights are human rights for everybody. whatever your sexual orientation is. For instance, Burnham thinks that men that wear a dress and call themselves a woman can go into a ladies' toilet. Be it they've had their bits cut off or not cut off. The islands in the Indian Ocean that Starmer tried to give to Mauritius, that was stopped by the House of Lords, and the people of the indigenous people who live on the island took our government to court because Starmer tried to evict them and won, and they had the right to stay. Now Burnham's going to bring all that back up again. So we're not getting a new Labour leadership, we're getting Starmer 2.0. The Conservatives, although I like some Conservative MPs, I like Ian Duncan Smith, I like Kemi, I think she is a nice lady, and there's a few others that I like as well. Bill Cash I like. Now, the problem with the Conservative Party is there's too many left-wing Conservatives. They call themselves liberal Conservatives. Well, how can you be a liberal Conservative? When they were Maggie Thatcher, they were called Tory Wets, and she filled her cabinet with them to keep them in control. But they stopped her going too far. And they were pro-EU, and that was the Heseltine's Powell Pym. You now got Tory MPs like we had Cameron, didn't we? We had May. Liz Truss was on our side. Liz Truss was a good one. Then we had Sunak, who was a liberal Conservative. Well, I'll tell you how it works. If you're a liberal, if you're a socialist and you want to control the Conservative Party, you join the Tories. Prime example, the old Speaker, Burstow. Burstow, when he resigned as Speaker, joined the Labour Party. That must tell you a lot. A Conservative MP who was a Speaker joined the Labour Party. How many more of those Tory wets have the Tories now got? That's why the Tory party isn't doing anywhere, because us, the people, we can see through them. We know what they're like. So we rejected the Tories at the last election. Starmer didn't tell us what he was going to do. There was a manifesto, but it was like management speak. Like, the only phrases when I read it that were missing was blue sky thinking and thinking out of the box. That's the only phrases they didn't use. They used all the rest of them in there, somewhere along the line. It all sounded fair enough, but it didn't really say anything. It was, I don't know, 230, 240 pages. Oh, lots of pictures of Starmer, mind, as the leader, making him look good. But he never really said what he was going to do, did he? People rejected the Tories. They didn't vote for Labour. Labour won by default. Labour vote didn't go up. In my constituency, the Tory vote collapsed by 5,000. The Labour vote only went up 2,000, which was enough for the Labour MP to win. So it wasn't a grand endorsement of the Labour Party. Labour won by default. But what they've done in my constituency here is we got lots of new houses. I'm a country boy. I'm a Somerset lad. I don't know if you've noticed that with my accent. I don't think I got an accent, but never mind. Anyway, I'm a countryman. I'm a Somerset lad. Now, if you cuss home, it says Tory or Liberal. It doesn't say Labour at all. What they've done is he brought all these people in from different parts of the country, and they're all living in these new houses. And the majority of them are woke socialists. You've only got to look at my local forum to see that. You know, you say anything against LGBTQ, pride or whatever, and they jump on you telling you can't say that, that's offensive. Why? I only said a man couldn't be a woman. That's all I said. But now you've got a court case that says there's only two sexes, male and female. We've had the court case. It's proven. But they're still fighting that battle that they want men in dresses allowed to go into ladies' toilets. It puts it into the hands of perverts. I'm not saying they're all perverts. But it allows perverts to thrive. Now, Reform wants to try and sort that out. Something that Nigel Farage also agrees with. He wants Brexit finished and sorted. Wants us to be our own masters. Doesn't want us to be a puppet of the EU. Or of China, take that for instance. How much influence has China got over this Labour Party? How much has China got over our Conservative Party? Take that. I think that if you live in Clacton, you've got to back Nigel. You've got to show the Tories and Labour that you still back Reform. You've done it once, you've done it in the last election, do it again. We need, like Nelson said before the Battle of Trafalgar, England expects every man to do his duty. And when I say man, I mean ladies as well in this case. We expect you to do your duty. Vote for Nigel Farage. Get him back into Parliament. We need Nigel Farage in Parliament. That's all there is to it. Anyway, this is just to tell you that he has resigned and he's triggered a by-election and he is going to stand in his old constituency. And I hope he wins. I'm back in Reform. Anyway, this is Ian. This is Ian's POV. Bye bye for now.